taking his warm-ups to his catcher, Rene Rivera. We're coming to you live from the Sunoco broadcast booth. Sunoco, save 5 cents on every gallon instantly with your Sunoco Rewards credit card. Well, we're about to get underway here as Tony Pena takes his place along the first base coaching line. Joe Espada runs down the third base line. Before we start, everybody here wants to wish happy birthday to our dear friend Yogi Berra. He is 90 years old today, and I know they're all at the museum and probably having a little ice cream and cake. And we miss you, and happy birthday. I hope it was a wonderful, wonderful day for you. And by the way, Yogi, I know you're listening. Your granddaughter Lindsay was great on, I guess it was the Today Show. She was on today. She was absolutely fabulous. And we're going to get that petition signed and get you that Medal of Honor. So happy birthday, my friend. Once again, Chris Archer is taking his warm-up pitches, and he is about done. He wears those high socks with the horizontal stripes on them. But he had a great April. And last two starts, he just lost control, and he has been walking guys. He actually walked in 2 runs against the Texas Rangers. That's hard to do that right now. And his ERA has tripled in the last 2 games, but he has been very tough on the New York Yankees. So here we go. And as Jacoby Ellsbury steps up to the plate, stepping up to the microphone is the voice of the New York Yankees. Here is John Sterling.
Well, Susan, I thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone. He hasn't been tough against the Yanks. He's been perfect. Archer comes in 5-0 against the Yanks in 6 starts at an ERA of 1.93. So he has been very tough. Here is Ellsbury. And the first pitch has a fastball strike. Ellsbury at 341, a homer, 6 RBIs, and has ridiculous numbers against Archer. He is 10 for 15 with a home run against the right-hander. And the 0-1 is a fastball high, the count 1-1.
You know, Brett Gardner said, I said, what do you have to do to hit Archer? And he said, I don't know, ask Ellsbury. He's 10 for 15 off him.
These numbers, here's the 1-1, and the pitch low. The numbers make no sense. You know, just one of those things where a guy sees the ball better or maybe gets good pitches to hit. But anyway, Archer, he is a heck of a pitcher, and this is going to be a tough game for the Yanks. Here's the 2-1. Cut on a miss, fastball up and in, and the count 2-2. That was at 95. He can really turn it loose.
You know, and I was reminded by one of the Rays that if Peralta hadn't given up the game a while back, he'd be 6-0 against the Yankees.
Now here's the 2-2. Foul back. And while I have a chance, happy birthday to Lawrence Peter Berra, one of our absolute favorites. I'll be a 2-2 to Ellsbury. And the pitch low on the count 3-2. Can't have a better career than Yogi.
No.
First of all, he won 10 World Series rings as a player, was the 3-time MVP in the American League. And here comes the payoff. Fouled off. And I'm using an old line. But as Casey Stengler once said, Yogi could fall into a sewer and come out with a gold watch. So it'll be, and Yogi also was called by Stengel throughout Stengel's career with the Yanks, my assistant manager. Here is the payoff. Line hard up the middle and through to center field to base hit. It's utterly amazing. First of all, in the major leagues, if you're 11 for 16 against anyone, it's amazing. There are guys out there who catch the ball. And here, Ellsbury against this terrific a pitcher is 11 for 16.
And what else was good about that at bat is that he threw 7 pitches. He had to show everything. That's what a good leadoff man does, is run the count up so that everybody on the bench gets a chance to see the different pitches.
Ellsbury has stolen 11 out of 15. And here is his partner in crime, Brett Gardner, at 308, 3 homers and 16 RBIs. Gardner hasn't done badly against Archer. He's 5 for 15. Those are the 2 guys who have good numbers against Archer. And Archer will deal. Pitch high. It might be a smaller crowd than last night. The Lightning are playing a vital game against Canadians. That's in Tampa. They had 10,000 people last night. And when the Yankees are up and they don't use all those awful sound effects, you can hear it. There's no noise at all. There'll be a 1-0 to Gardner. And the pitch is a strike. Susan had a pretty good line last night. It was in the 9th inning, and the Yankees were winning, and Teixeira hit a 2-run home run, an add-on. And she said, well, no wonder there's applause. Those are Yankee fans. The other Tampa Bay fans have left.
They all did.
Here's the 1-1 to Gardy. Ellsbury with the lead. Archer holds the set. And the pitch is lined to left field as a base hit. Well, there they are, the great table setters. And that there is big a reason why the Yanks are in first place with the best record in the American League. Gardner broke his bat and looped one to left, and the Yankees have 2 on and no one out. And here is Alex Rodriguez. So let's see what the Yankees do with it. Teixeira has the night off. He might pinch hit later in the game if it's a close game. But here, first and second, no one out. The 2 speediest Yankees are on. And it'll be A-Rod, McCann, and Beltran. Beltran has really become revivified in the past week. Here's A-Rod, who hit a 428-foot home run last night. 2 on, no one out. And Archer holds a set and deals, and the pitch is low outside slider. A-Rod at 250. 8 homers, 20 RBIs. Archer's first pitch was 95 miles an hour. Choosing the pitch is important. Your choices matter too. Please drive responsibly. A reminder from the NYC Department of Transportation and the Vision Zero Initiative. The 1-0. Count on him. Now the count 1-1.
Alex is 0 for 3 off of Archer with a strikeout. Boy, did he hit another shot last night. What did you say that was, 400?
Yeah, it was measured at 428. And, of course, he had one earlier in the year in left center that was 473. And there is the 1-1. And, again, the slider outside, 2-1. Yankees hit 5 homers last night and accounted for 10 of the 11 runs. Gardner a 3-run job. Headley a 3-run home run. That's 6. Teixeira a 2-run home run. That's 8. And A-Rod and Beltran solo home runs. 10 of the 11 runs. Like the Yankees of old. The 2-1 is low, 3-1. So Archer is in a little tough spot. He knows he can't make the strike too good. A-Rod may hit it out. And if it's ball 4, the bases will be loaded with no one out. So very early in the game, here's a big pitch. The runners lead off first and second, no one out. And the 3-1. High, ball 4. Overthrew the fastball. So there's the first walk of the game. And the Yankees have the bases loaded and no one out. The first walk of the game, just walk into any of CityMD's convenient locations. See a board-certified physician. You'll never need an appointment. CityMD, feel better, faster. So Ellsbury at third, Gardner at second, A-Rod at first, no one out. And here's Brian McCann, who's at 240, 4 homers and 18 RBIs, a left-hand hitter. And the pitch is high, 1-0.
Boy, and look at this. He's already thrown 17 pitches, and there's nobody out in the first inning. He's throwing all fastballs. He's missing with a 96, 97. This is a continuation so far of his last game.
Now here's the 1-0 to McCann. Caught on a missed. And then the count 1-1. The slider down and in. As hard as he throws, those are very hard slider too. I looked up on the board. Sometimes we really don't know to believe what's on the board, but I don't have a gun myself, so that slider was 89. That's some guy's fastballs. Bases loaded, no one out. It'll be a 1-1. Line to right field as a base hit. Scoring is Ellsbury. Gardner's going to be held up. Souza made a strong throw in. Also was a hard line drive on one hop. So McCann lines a ribby base hit, and the Yankees take a 1-0 lead.
And already Jim Hickey's on the run out to see Archer. This is exactly what happened in Texas and in Baltimore. And in Baltimore, the Orioles were saying that they attacked his slider because he would get behind and then he'd throw that slider, and that was what they hit. They hit all their big hits off of sliders.
That was McCann's 19th ribby. And the meeting at the mound goes on. Now the home plate umpire, Adam Hamari, will break it up. And as he gets halfway out, everybody leaves the mound. Now here's Beltran. This is a great chance for the Yankees to, you can't break open a game in the first inning, but it's a chance for them to get a sizable lead for Eovaldi. Even if they hit 2 long fly balls, they could get a 3-0 lead. 1-0 Yanks. Here's Beltran, who's been hitting so much better of late. Bases loaded, no one out. And the pitch, a breaking ball, he went half swing. He wanted to check it. Beltran up to 219, 2 homers, both in the last 2 days, and 14 RBIs. In the outfield, the center fielder Kiermaier plays a few steps toward left center for Carlos. And the pitch, a breaking ball in the dirt, blocked by Rivera. And the count 1-1.
Well, so far it's just fastball, slider, and he's really missing with that slider. So they're holding up on it. Carlos tried to hold up on the first one, which actually was in the dirt. This one bounced.
So it'll be a 1-1. Gardner at third, A-Rod at second, McCann at first. A lot of speed at third, and very little speed at second and first. Here is the 1-1 to Beltran. Hit hard, base hit, right field. Gardner scores. A-Rod will go to third. They'll hold him. Souza fires all the way in, way wide of the plate, but you had to respect his arm. So there's a base hit and an RBI for Beltran. And you know what, Susan? It looks like he's turned the corner.
Yes, it really does. And all that, he had hit so many hard balls that were at people. This one, he just met the ball. He didn't overswing. Really a nice, compact swing, just turned on it beautifully. And he really got it right in the middle of the bat.
You know, numbers. We give you a million numbers. Well, his ERA against the Yankees was 1.93. Well, they've already scored 2 runs. Isn't that amazing? Bases loaded, no one out. Here's Headley. And the pitch, strike, fastball outside corner. The Yankees already have 4 hits in the game.
And you know what, John? He's got to stay in there because they don't even have a pitcher for Thursday. They don't even know who it's going to be because they're so thin. So he's got to give them some innings.
That'll be an 0-1 to Headley. Bases loaded, no one out, 2 in. Pitch is dribbled weakly foul, third base side. And the count 0-2. The Yankees have Headley, Drew, and Jones. And the way you look at it, a base hit could give the Yankees a 4-0 lead. Souza has a strong arm in right, and Kiermaier has an even better arm in center. And Kiermaier plays Headley a few steps over in left center. Chase way behind on the count. Chase at 233, 4 homers and 14 RBIs. Now the Yankees have a chance to really give themselves a substantial lead. Now Rivera trots out to talk to Archer.
Headley, one of the ones, John, last night on the field talking about how they were so glad that they finally got some runs for CeCe.
Right. Yankees also doing themselves some good. As Susan mentioned, the pitch count for Archer. Now here is the 0-2 to Headley. Struck him out swinging, fastball up. Overpowered him, good pitch. So there is 1 away. And that will bring up Stephen Drew.
Well, good pitch because everything else was down and that was up. That was not a strike. That was above the letters, high fastball. You just can't hold up on that.
Now here is Drew, another left-hand hitter. Tonight, A-Rod is a right-hand hitter. And that's the only right-hand hitter along with all the switch hitters in the Yankee lineup. Drew at 191, 4 homers, 10 RBIs. Bases loaded, 1 out. And Archer deals up high in the count 1-0. Garrett Jones, the on-deck hitter. the right-hander is set to be a 1-0. And that's foul, third base side out of play. Another count 1-1 on Drew.
And meanwhile, Evaldi's been sitting in that dugout a long time. Pitchers have such schedules. It's hard before you ever get out and pitch. Sit there for 20 minutes.
Archer deals. Swung on and fouled again, third base side, down the left field line. And the count 1-2. Everyone, of course, was talking about the final out last night. If you were not watching or listening. And fly ball to left. Gardner sitting under it, waiting for the ball to come down. The ball hit the catwalk. And luckily for the Yankees, Didi followed the action of the ball. I didn't see it. He caught the ball. I was looking at Gardner. Here's the 1-2. And the pitch is low. And if the ball had landed on the field fair, it would have been a base hit. Now, it didn't matter. It was 11-5 last night. But imagine if it's 3-2.
Well, it was one of those. And now Longoria and Rene Rivera going out to talk to Archer. Well, it was one of those, and I can't remember what the play was, but it was in the ALCS. Something like that happened. And Madden even got up and was screaming and saying this place is a joke. You can't have championship baseball in a place like this.
Oh, that is a weird way to end a game, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, that's like you're a kid, you know. You only can hit to one side of the field, you know, because... Anyway, bases loaded, one man out, two in. It'll be a 2-2 to Drew. Archer, of course, needs the strikeout to freeze the runner at third. Pitch. Swung on, a high fly to shallow center. Kiermaier has a good arm. I don't think A-Rod can score. He bluffs, and the throw comes in wide, but you didn't know that. So you know what Archer's done? He's done a pretty good job. A very short fly, and before that a strikeout, and he can get out with 2 runs. When you have 2 runs in, the bases loaded and no one out, that's pretty good pitching.
Do you know what one of those catwalk things, something like that? Do you remember years and years ago we were at Rogers Center when it was still called Sky Dome? Mike Stanley hit a ball that hit a speaker, and it came down, and he ended up with a triple. And he was, like I'm running around. It hit a speaker, came down and landed on the field, and it was a hit, and he ended up with a triple.
Now here's Garrett Jones, a lefty hitter with 2 outs, and the pitch cut on him. It's threw it by him. Jones is 5 for 33 with no home runs and an RBI.
A guy who's used to playing every day or almost every day. When you play once a week or once every 2 weeks, really hard to get your swing going. Just is.
And this is a tough matchup anyway. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and grounded to second. Forsythe throws to first. And Archer actually got out very cheaply. The Yankees scored 2 runs on 4 hits and leave 3. At the end of a half, Yankees 2. Tampa coming to bat on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Exclusively for ShopRite, Black Bear of the Black Forest.
Salino and Barnes remind you that this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Salino and Barnes is one of our nation's largest personal injury firms. If you're injured, don't wait. Call 8. Call them now at 800-888-8888. Offices in Manhattan and Long Island.
There is Evaldi's first pitch, and Kiermaier takes a strike. Nathan 3-0 and an ERA of 3.97. He gives up a lot of hits. His control, though, is pretty good, which it has to be. The 0-1, a high fly to shallow left. Gardner looking for it. He makes the catch, and there's one away. Kiermaier was a .258, 3 homers, 9 RBIs. And there's the right fielder, Steven Souza, a right-hand hitter. He's a .218. 5 homers and 14 RBIs.
And with Evaldi adding that third pitch, a changeup or something with less velocity, they're trying to turn him in from a thrower into a pitcher. And he's worked very hard with Larry Rothschild and Brian McCann to do just that, so it's not just trying to overpower everybody all the time.
Souza hits a ground ball toward third. Headley has to race in field. Bobble can't get out of his glove. Probably it's a base hit. Probably.
They do give him a base hit. He's pretty fast, Souza. You wouldn't think a guy that size. I bet he's about 6'5". He's a big guy. He has a lot of speed.
Third baseman, number 3, Evan Longoria.
Actually bounced it off the front of the plate, right in front of the plate. So a hard play for Headley.
If Headley had not bobbled it, I think he would have gotten him because he has a very good arm. So it is a base hit. 1 on and 1 out. Here's Longoria at 282, 4 homers, 12 RBIs. I'll give you Evaldi's line in a moment. And the right-hander deals at a breaking ball strike. I mentioned 3-0, 3.97 ERA, 6 games and starts, 34 innings, 44 hits. He gives up a lot of hits. He led the National League in hits allowed last year. He's walked only 9. That's about 2 per 9. He has struck out 25, an almost 3-to-1 ratio pitch. Caught on him. Missed another breaking ball. And Evaldi has given up 5 home runs. He's got a great arm, and the Yankees believe that with the proper tutoring that he can become a winning pitcher. They got the best pitching coach, Larry Rothschild. So it'll be an 0-2 to Longoria. Souza leads. Pitch is low. And the count 1-2. Ford vehicles have it all. Great design, intelligent features, all at a price that won't break the bank. See why they're the total package at your local Ford dealer now, or visit us at tristateford.com. Now, Evaldi will deal 1-2. First to throw to first, and Souza dives on back. Souza has stolen 4 out of 6. This team doesn't run much. It'll be a 1-2. And the pitch, strike 3. Longoria must have been looking for something else. He took that right across the plate 2 ways.
You know, it's interesting when you look at Evaldi, 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and that moved. We'll see this again. It almost dissected the plate,
Right.
didn't it? Great
Right at
movement.
the knees. Good pitch. Here is James Loney, a left-hand hitter. Tampa has put in all their left-hand hitters. They only have 4. They only have 3 guys on the bench, too. They have a lot of pitchers. And the pitch, a breaking ball strike on the inside corner. 10-second station ID on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network. Loney, and 66 at-bats, he was on the DL at the beginning of the year, at 227, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. Pitch is foul, third base side, out of play. Well, when Evaldi struck out Longoria, that was the Yankees' first strikeout of the game. Winthrop University Hospital reminds you that they strike out cancer with their cyber knife technology. Winthrop University Hospital, your health means everything. That'll be an 0-2 to Loney. Souza a short lead and draws a throw. And he got picked off. How do you like that? Evaldi, a very quick pickoff move. And so they picked Souza clean. And the pickoff goes 1-3. No runs, 1 hit, no one left. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Are they going to ask for a review? Is that what's going on? No. What they did is they looked at the replay and realized he was out. So no runs, 1 hit, and no one left at the end of 2-0 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
It's Yankees baseball on Sports Radio 66 and 101.9 FM, WFAN New York.
Well, here we go to the top of the second, and Yanks have a 2-0 lead. The Yankees sent 8 men to bat in the first inning. They did have 2 runs in with the bases loaded and no one out, and Archer didn't give up another run, so give him credit for that. Didi takes inside. Didi at 217, no homers, 7 RBIs.
Scoreboard update brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com.
Now the 1-0, inside 2-0.
The interleague game of the day. St. Louis is leading Cleveland 3-0. They're in the top of the 5th in Cleveland. Lance Lynn against Carlos Carrasco.
Now the 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1.
No score in Baltimore. They are in the top of the third, the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Mark Burley against Chris Tillman. Minnesota's at Detroit. No score, top of the second. Kyle Gibson against Alfredo Simon.
The 2-1. Strike it is. Poured right through there at 86, a slider. So the count 2-2 on Didi, and the pitch is strike 3 at the knees on the inside. That is the second strikeout for Archer.
Texas is hosting Kansas City in a little while. Edinson Volquez against Nick Martinez. Boston is at Oakland at 10. Oakland's now lost 6 in a row. Justin Masterson against Drew Pomerantz. Colorado, who's lost 9 in a row, is facing the Angels, also in Interleague. Kyle Kendrick against C.J. Wilson, and San Diego will be at Seattle, more Interleague.
Now there's a strike to Ellsbury.
Ian Kennedy against James Paxson.
That was another slider. He's throwing sliders in this inning, or at least beginning. Ellsbury singled and scored his first time, and the 0-1 is low.
Pittsburgh will be at Philadelphia. Both have Pittsburgh has won 3 in a row. Philly has lost 3 in a row. A.J. Burnett against Sean O'Sullivan.
Here's the 1-1. Swung on and looped to shallow left center field. It dunks in for another hit. He's utterly amazing. And by the way, now I don't want to give you all these numbers, but Ellsbury has about caught Jose Altuve for the most hits in the American League. He's 2 for 2 tonight, and he is now 12 for 17 against Archer. Isn't that amazing? I mean, Archer's a pretty good pitcher.
Todd Frazier just hit his 11th home run, and Cincinnati takes a 2-0 lead over Atlanta, top of the second in Cincy.
So 1 on and 1 out. And here is Gardner, who also singled his first time. The table setters are fabulous. And Archer deals high 1-0.
Cubs are hosting the Mets again at 8. Noah Syndergaard makes his debut tonight against Jake Arrieta. White Sox will be in Milwaukee. Chris Sale against Mike Fiers. San Francisco is at Houston. Chris Heston against Colin McHugh.
Now, the right-hander Archer is set to go. 1 on, 1 out, and a throw to first, and Ellsbury's back.
Washington will be at Arizona. Washington now is getting on track. They have won 5 in a row. Steven Strasburg against Ruby De La Rosa. So all these interleagues, John, I guess because the Yankees head into Washington, so it's starting for real that all the interleagues are going to start pretty soon.
Now here's the 1-0. Ellsbury goes. The throw by Rivera is in time. And Ellsbury didn't argue. A terrific throw by Rivera, and Ellsbury, I think, got tagged just as his foot was about to hit the bag. And you would know it if you're running, and he didn't argue at all.
Well, he was really waiting. He had the ball. The ball was there in plenty of time. It was just as if he was going to get the tag down, and got him on the back of the thigh. And Ellsbury didn't even say boo. He knew he was out.
So 2-way, and the pitch to Gardner is a strike. And the count 2-1. Ellsbury had been 11 out of 15 in stolen bases before being caught. Here's the 2-1. Hit on the ground toward the middle. It's another base hit. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Gardner holds on. So tonight, Ellsbury and Gardner are 4 for 4. And the beat goes on.
And that sets up everybody else, and that's what it's done. You know it's going to stop at some point, John. They can't keep going like this, can they? I mean, they
no,
can,
and also the Yankees are, in their last 24, 18-6. That's 750. I'm sorry. That's not going to continue either. But, hey, as long as it's happening, keep riding it. Here's A-Rod. 3 infielders on the left side. And Archer deals. There's a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. One thing about A-Rod, he wakes up this ballpark, which is frankly tough to do.
He wakes up every ballpark.
There's the 0-1. Cut on him. Missed 0-2.
Well, fastball followed by a slider. Fastball was up, really tied him up, and that slider he just swung over.
Geico saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit them at geico.com. Now, A-Rod behind on the count 0-2. And a throw over. Gardner is back. Gardner stolen 10 out of 12.
Tied with Altuve, huh? With 11, Jacoby Ellsbury and Jose Altuve. Right behind him is Brett Gardner at 10.
Here's the 2-2. Fouled away. And, Houston will play later on, but I think that I'm going to look this up. And if not, I'll tell you between innings or after the inning. I think Ellsbury has caught Altuve in base hits. Altuve led the major leagues last year in base hits. There'll be an 0-2 to Alex. There goes Gardner. The pitch is low. The throw to second base is in time. So give Rivera a big pat on the back. He just cut down Ellsbury and Gardner back-to-back. Two great throws. For the Yanks, no runs, 2 hits, and no one left. At the end of an inning and a half, it's 2-0 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Now we go to the bottom of the second inning. James Loney will lead off. He was at bat when Souza got picked off. And last inning, Rene Rivera threw out both Ellsbury and Gardner. That's pretty good. And they were 2 great throws. So we go to the bottom of the second. 2-0 Yanks. Loney, a left-hand hitter. And Evaldi deals a strike at the knees.
Yankees trivia brought to you by the Samsung Curved SUHD TV, available at Adorama and Adorama.com.
Here's the 0-1. And the pitch high, 1-1.
April 2014, a game against these Rays. The Yankees turned the 24th triple play in franchise history. Which 3 players recorded the outs? Give you the answer next inning.
Here's the 1-1. A high pop down the left field line. Gardner crosses the line in the bullpen, makes the catch. And there's one away. The pitch before last. Was 97. Evaldi really has that ability. He can throw 97 at the beginning, and what's amazing is he can throw 97 at the end. So,
there aren't a lot of pitchers that can do that.
No, he's in spring training too. He has a heck of an arm. Now here is Logan Forsythe having a terrific year. Forsythe hitting at .303, 3 homers and 15 RBIs.
And a little stoppage of play while Chase Headley went and got another glove.
Forsythe is a right-hand hitter. 2-0 Yankees, bottom of the second, 1 out, no one on. And the pitch outside, 1-0. It is so quiet in this place when they don't play that awful noise. I know exactly with the 1-0 what you're thinking I'm saying. It's so quiet. The guy who's saying beer here, I get beer here, you can hear him plainly, and he's downstairs. They have a press box is totally cut off from the stands. The 2-0, it high in the air to shallow center. Ellsbury coming in a couple of steps to make the catch. 2-away. Fans kick off Memorial Day weekend at Yankee Stadium on Friday, May 22nd, when the Yankees take on the Rangers. All guests in attendance will receive a Yankees reusable tote bag courtesy of the MLB Network. And for tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Now, two-way, here is David DeJesus. And 72 at-bats. The pitch to DeJesus. A high pop foul down the left field line. Gardner crosses the line but can't get there. It bounced where the mound is in the Yankee bullpen and kicked in the seats. DeJesus, I guess, just gets platooned. He's had 72 at-bats, hitting very well. He's a good line drive hitter, hitting a .296, 2 homers, 11 RBIs.
Well, he hasn't played in a few days because he had that flu that's been going around the Rays clubhouse, and the Rays gave it to the Orioles. Just hopefully the Yankees don't get it from here. But DeJesus wasn't even out for batting practice. He was trying to save his strength.
That'll be an 0-1 from Eovaldi. And the pitch is foul back, 0-2. Two outs, no one on, and Eovaldi ahead of DeJesus, 0-2. And the pitch, he laid off. Did he go? He did. The third base umpire, Eric Cooper, pumped him out. Eovaldi is off to a terrific start, and he has thrown only 18 pitches in 2 innings. 1-2-3 go the Rays. At the end of 2 innings of play, 2-0 Yanks. On the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by G.
9 FM, WFAN, New York.
Now to the top of the third, 2-0 Yanks. A-Rod was hitting when Gardner was caught stealing. 3 infielders on the left side. Alex walked his first time. And Archer deals, swung on. A high pop to shallow right. Forsythe is out, and he makes the catch, 1 away.
And here's the answer to today's trivia question, brought to you by the Samsung Curved SUHD TV, available at Adorama. Do you remember the triple play last year?
Yes, I think.
No one who is going to be named is still on this team.
Now here's McCann, who singled in a run. The Yankees had 4 hits and a walk. They only scored 2 runs, and Archer, and he deals to McCann, and there's a strike.
Third baseman Jan Hervis Solarte fielded the ball, stepped on third, threw to second baseman Brian Roberts, who then threw to first baseman Scott Sizemore to complete the triple play.
I could never have named. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and lined to right, and it is caught on the run by Souza, 2-way. I could never have named Scott Sizemore. He was there for a very short time.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that one either. And did you see that Sousa, John, also bent down to get underneath the lights? That must go up in that angle and get caught in the lights.
This is a ballpark in name only.
Yes.
Now 2-way, here is Beltran, who also singled in a run and cuts and misses. Anyway, Archer saved himself and the Rays. He had 2 runs in, bases loaded, no one out, and did not allow another run. Strikeout, shallow fly ball, and a ground ball. So he did a heck of a job. The 0-1. Little chopper to second. Cabrera throws to first. Well, that's Longoria, excuse me. So the play goes 5-3. It's on the right side. And the Yankees are down quickly, 1-2-3. End of 2.5. 2-0 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Sports.
Now to the bottom of the third, Nathan Eovaldi has a 2-0 lead. He has given up 1 hit, a little dribbling single down third. And that player he picked off, Souza. Here is Cabrera, and he takes a fastball outside. Has Drubel at .215, 1 homer, 9 RBIs. And 3 infielders on the right side for Cabrera. The 1-0 is a breaking ball low, 2-0.
When Carlos Beltran grounded out to end of the top of the third, that was the 15th out of the game, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUGO or visit them at geico.com.
Now, here is the 2-0. And the Fastball missed outside, 3-0 on Cabrera.
I was trying to think, besides Josh Beckett, can you think of somebody besides Beckett and Eovaldi that stay 98 from beginning to end?
The pitch, strike. Well, I really can't remember if the guys, like Sam McDowell or Tion did.
Right.
But it's very unusual.
It is very unusual.
Now here's the 3-1. Swung on and line to right, and right at Beltran, who makes the catch one away. For example, that pitch was 96. I guess what we're saying about Eovaldi.
We're trying to say about it.
He doesn't have to try to pump it up when he needs it. I mean, it's there all the time.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And he's always said he's always had that arm. It's not, and he's got he has a very free and easy delivery. It doesn't look like it's max effort at all.
Here's Geyer, and that pitch is low, 1-0.
You know what I mean? It just looks like it's so easy for him to do it.
Yeah, he's not pumping up and firing with everything he has. He might be a work in progress, but he's doing okay with the Yanks. Here is the 1-0, and the pitch is fouled off. Geyer, a right-hand hitter, in 70 at-bats is at 286.
Larry Rothschild says, which is very good, that he's very, very coachable.
With 2 homers and 11 RBIs. Here's the 1-1. Fastball's high, 2-1. Geyer, a right-hand hitter. Well, I think what saves Eovaldi, because he gives up all these hits, he doesn't walk a lot of people. And deals 2-1. Is line to short to Gregorius. Wasn't it terribly hard, kind of fat. And there are 2 away. You would say that Rivera, and we've seen examples of it, is a good defensive catcher. He doesn't hit. He's hitting 130 with a homer and 5 RBIs. He's a right-hand hitter. And the pitch is hit on 1 hop to second. Drew to first, and that's the inning. And Eovaldi is throwing very few pitches, which means he's in pretty good shape. 1, 2, 3, and go the Rays at the end of 3 innings of play. It's 2-0 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. 10-second station ID on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network.
Cavs lead the Bulls in the second quarter, 52-41. Lightning and Canadians scoreless in the first. D. Summers after the Yankees on WFAN and WFAN-FM New York.
John Sterling, Susan Waldman back at Tropicana in St. Pete. Yankees scored 2 in the first. They have a 2-0 lead. Chase Headley will lead it off here in the 4th inning. 3 infielders on the right side. And Headley takes a pitch high, 1-0.
Scoreboard update brought to you by New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of the New York Yankees since 2008. Amazing things are happening here.
Here's Archer's 1-0. Foul back.
St. Louis leading Cleveland 3-0. Bottom of the 6th. They're in Cleveland. Lance Lynn and Carlos Carrasco. Toronto is losing to Baltimore. Baltimore leading 2-0. Jimmy Paredes 2-run single in the 3rd inning. They're in the top of the 4th. Mark Burley against Chris Tillman.
The 1-1. And the breaking ball low, 2-1.
Minnesota, who's 8-2 in their last 10, no score. They are at Detroit, and it's Kyle Gibson against Alfredo Simon.
Here's the 2-1. Grounded foul at home plate, 2-2.
Texas, who's 7-3 in their last 10, is hosting Kansas City. Edinson Volquez against Nick Martinez. Nick Martinez, 2-0, 1.47 ERA. Oakland's lost 6 in a row. They're hosting Boston at 10. Justin Masterson against Drew Pomerantz.
Now, the right-hander is 2-2. He struck out Headley. Second time he struck out Chase, and there is 1 away.
Colorado, who's lost 9 in a row, are in Anaheim to play the Angels. Kyle Kendrick against C.J. Wilson. And San Diego will be up in Seattle. Seattle's won 3 in a row. Ian Kennedy against James Paxson.
The strikeout pitch, I just looked at that again, was a slider and out of the strike zone. Yankees have to hold up on that. His slider really bites and it's way out of the strike zone. Well, one away. And here is Stephen Drew. And there's a strike with the fastball.
You heard Joe Girardi on the manager's show saying that the key to Archer is not to chase that slider. He said, don't chase. If you can recognize a slider, it's not going to be a strike.
That'll be an 0-1 to Drew. Again, 3 infielders on the right side. And the pitch is pop foul back. On the count 0-2.
Pittsburgh is at Philadelphia. They're in the top of the 4th. There's no score. A.J. Burnett going against Sean O'Sullivan. Cincinnati has lost 3 in a row. They're hosting Atlanta, all tied up 2 apiece, top of the 3rd. And the Mets will start playing the Cubs in a few minutes.
Pitch is high.
Awaited debut of Noah Syndergaard, and he'll go up against Jake Arrieta. White Sox are in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's won 3 in a row. Chris Sales against Mike Fiers.
1-2. Low 2-2.
San Francisco's at Houston. Chris Heston against Colin McHugh. Washington, who's now started to play a lot better. They've won 5 in a row. They're in Arizona. Steven Strasburg against Ruby De La Rosa. And it is Miami at the Dodgers. Dodgers now won 4 straight. Danny Herron against Mike Wolsinger.
The 2-2 fouled straight back by Drew.
Dodgers playing very well. They are 21-10.
One story that you'll hear about tomorrow, and I think a lot of teams will take a look at it. Allegedly, Troy Tulowitzki. Here's the 2-2 to Drew, and he struck him out. So they're a 2-way, 4 strikeout for Archer. The Yankees may have let Archer off the hook in the first inning. They may have. We'll see. Anyway, Troy Tulowitzki allegedly has told Colorado they're in last place. They've lost 9 in a row, and he doesn't want to spend his career not playing in the playoffs, and he wants to be traded. That's the rumor anyway. Obviously, I'm not in Colorado. Here's Garrett Jones, and there's a fastball strike, and the count 0-1. If he's healthy, he's a tremendous player. I guess that's a big part of it. Is he healthy? Or he has a big contract, too. That's another big part of it. 3 infielders on the right side for Jones. And the pitch is pop foul. Third base out of play.
These days, that is the big part of it, is that contract.
That is a big part of it, no question.
And he's had all kinds of things wrong with him. I haven't kept an eye out on how he's doing. The team's lost 9-10 in a row, so. That would be a problem to move that contract.
That's why you could get him maybe cheaply. The 0-2 is grounded foul outside of first. I mean, cheaply in terms of players. Wouldn't be cheaply to take on the contract. The top of the 4th inning brought to you by Domino's Pizza, the pizza with the best toppings. Domino's, the official pizza of the New York Yankees radio network. There'll be an 0-2 to Jones. And it's hit hard on the ground off the glove of Longoria. Caroms out in the outfield to Forsythe. It's a base hit for Jones. 3 infielders on the right side. The ball went between Longoria and Forsythe, and the dive was made and went off the glove of Longoria. So there's a base hit for Garrett.
Well, it is a base hit. What happened was that when Longoria dove for it, it hit the end of his glove, so it changed direction. Forsythe was going towards shortstop, and then it hit Longoria's glove, so the ball sort of caromed towards first base. So he had trouble picking it up.
You can't guide the ground ball. 3 infielders there, and the ground ball went between 2 of the fielders. Here is Didi, and he hits a ground ball toward the middle. Diving stop, Forsythe throws to second for the 4th. Beautiful play by Forsythe. He took a hit away from Didi Gregorius. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. And at the end of 3.5, 2-0 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. The 4th inning is brought to you by Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K. Tampa has the top of the order. Up here is Kevin Kiermaier, a left-hand hitter, and he lines one down the left field line. Gardner on the run makes a terrific catch. I didn't think he had a chance. A hard line drive down the left field line, and Gardner raced over. He got a great jump and made a one-hand running catch as he neared the foul line, one away.
The Recovery Room Health Update is sponsored by New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Amazing things are happening here. And obviously the big news is Masahiro Tanaka threw 30 pitches off a mound today, reported no problems, and they'll make a plan for him tomorrow if everything is okay. We're waiting to get numbers on Chris Capuano's start tonight in Scranton, or for Scranton, which Judge Rorty said yesterday could be his last rehab start, and he could rejoin the team if all goes well tonight.
Now here's Steven Souza, a right-hand hitter, and he takes low. You know that was Eovaldi's 30th pitch, and there's one out in the fourth inning. He has a 2-0 lead. Souza, the only man to get on against Eovaldi, had a little dribbling single down third. Here is the 1-0. There's a breaking ball strike, and they count 1-1.
You know, John, just to keep that Tulowitzki thing going, it was our buddy Joel Sherman of the Post who reported that. He's meeting with his agent on Thursday and reportedly is thinking about asking for a trade. He's signed through 2020, and they owe him $110 million, and he's 30.
Well, the years aren't bad because he's 30 years old. Here is the 1-1. Pitches low. I don't see him play. You'd have to have scouts look at him, see if he's healthy or how healthy he is, etc. But he is. I mean, there are other teams going to look for him. He is a terrific player.
He's hitting .307 with 2 homers this season.
It'll be a 2-1 to Souza. And the pitch fouled away. You know the Yankees have so much lefty hitting. He's a right-hand hitter. But anyway, that's a lot of money to take on. I would grant you that. But at least at the end of the contract, he would only be, 35, 36. It'll be a 2-2. And the pitch is cut on him. This foul tipped into the glove of McCann. And that is
And that was 98 miles an hour, that fastball.
strikeout number 3. You see that ball move?
Yes, I did.
That had some hop on it. That ball moved. It's optical illusion, I guess. That ball moved up. It moved. A terrific pitch. 2-way. Here is Longoria, who struck out his first time. 2-0 Yankees. Bottom of the fourth. 2 outs. No one on. And the breaking ball's in for a strike. Eovaldi might be tough today because whenever he needs to throw his change or his breaking ball, it's a strike. He's got the fastball. Gives you something to look at. The 0-1. A half swing. That was a breaking ball. We are coming to you live from the Sunoco broadcast booth. Sunoco. Save 5 cents on every gallon instantly with your Sunoco credit card.
And it's not terrible when you're ahead in the count to throw a slider like that off the plate. Just change the looks a little bit. He knew that was not a strike.
And here's the 1-1. That missed outside. 2-1 on Longoria. Yankees scored their runs in the first. 2-0 bottom of the fourth. 2 outs, no one on. And the 2-1 swung on and lined to right center. On the run is Ellsbury to make the running catch. You have Ellsbury and Gardner out there. If it has a loop, it's going to be caught. 3 up, 3 down. Eovaldi pitching a tremendous game. I think he has thrown 38 pitches in 4 innings. Let's round it off. 10 pitches an inning. You can go a long way doing that. Well, 3 up, 3 down at the end of 4 innings of play. 2-0 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, we go to the 5th. The Yankees have the top of the order up. They lead 2-0, both runs in the first inning. Although Archer did get out of the inning very cheaply. We'll reconstruct the inning for you. For late tune is in. Ellsbury takes so. Ellsbury and Gardner singled. A-Rod walked. Bases loaded, no one out. McCann singled in a run. And Beltran singled in a run. And there is the 1-0. Fouled off. Third base shot out of play. So the Yankees had a 2-0 lead. Bases loaded, no one out. But then Archer got tough He struck out Headley, got Drew on a shallow fly to center, no advance, and that was proper. And then Jones grounded out. And since then, Archer is pitching like Archer. Here's the 1-1 up high. Ellsbury is 2 for 2, and he is 12 for 17 lifetime against Archer, which is utterly amazing. That'll be a 2-1. And the pitch high, 3-1.
Your local Tri-State Audi dealer invites you to experience the uncompromised performance of the Audi A3 today, or visit anytime at tristateaudidealers.com.
It'll be a 3-1 to Ellsbury leading off, and the pitch is a strike, 3-2. Ellsbury, by the way, has caught Altuve for the league lead in hits at 45.
The difference between now and the first inning is Archer's getting the slider over.
The payoff is foul back. As Archer begins this inning, this bodes well for the Yanks. They could have one more long inning. He's already at 75 pitches. So it'll be a 3-2 to Jake. Leading off the top of the fifth, 2-0 Yanks. And the pitch is foul back. Well, the count holds at 3-2. That was 96.
Yeah, he's got a great arm. Fastball, slider. That's pretty much what he does. He's sort of a disciple of David Price at the beginning of his career. You know, a young guy like Archer is still very young. No more Shields, no more Price.
Here's the payoff. And he struck him out swing on a pitch in the dirt. Rivera has to throw to first, which he does. One away.
Strikeout 2-3.
So it's a 2-3 put out. One down. Here's Gardner, who also is 2 for 2.
And that's that. See, he can throw when he's on. Archer throws that slider. He can throw it in the dirt, or he can throw it for a strike. And when it's coming at you, you don't know whether it's going to be the slider that actually will cross the plate and be a strike, or whether it's really going to veer out and not be one. And that's has been his brilliance.
Now here's the pitch to Gardner, and there's a fastball strike at 95. Archer has struck out 5 and walked 1. That was A-Rod. And the 0-1 is tapped weakly to first. Loney will take it himself, and there are 2 away. Well, fans, come out to Yankee Stadium Saturday, May 23rd, when the Yankees take on the Rangers. The first 18,000 guests 14 and younger will receive a Yankees drawstring backpack, courtesy of Kumon. And for tickets, log on to Yankees.com. There's A-Rod with 2 outs. And the pitch cut on a miss, slider down and away. You can hear the fans' excitement as they love to see A-Rod come up.
Boy, I'd keep throwing him that slider. He lengthens his swing, then maybe come back on the fastball in under the hands. But that slider now is really devastating.
0-1. Swung on and hit hard to Forsythe. He throws to first in time. He was on the shortstop side, and boy, did he make a pick. A-Rod hit the tar out of it, and Forsythe made a great backhand pick. Well, the Yankees are down 1-2-3, and at the end of 4.5, 2-0 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Now we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Yankees have a 2-0 lead. And being the 5th inning, it's post time, and we bring in George King from the New York Post. The New York Post brings you the best sports in town every day. James Loney will lead it off. Eovaldi pitching, frankly, the game of his life as he deals to the left-hand hitter. The pitch is low. Eovaldi's allowed only one man on base, and that was a dribbling single by the second batter, Steven Souza. Headley kind of fumbled with the ball. They gave him a hit. They should have. And the 1-0 breaking ball is low. And then Souza was picked off. So that's the only base runner to reach him. So Eovaldi through 4, George, has been phenomenal.
You know, much has been made. He doesn't strike people out, but when you pitch like this, you don't have to.
The 2-0 is high, 3-0.
Well, wouldn't you rather have, he's thrown 42 pitches. We're in the 5th inning. Wouldn't you rather have him go deep in the game than strike, economy of pitches, as Mel Stoudemire used to say.
I think it gets...
And the 3-0 strike.
I think attention comes to it because he throws so hard. He's been throwing 98, 99, 97, and people automatically assume that you throw that hard, you're going to get a lot of swings and misses. He doesn't, but you can't pitch much better than this.
Now here's the 3-1. A ground ball to second. Drew in the outfield. Fields and throws one away. And Tampa has contributed because they have swung at a lot of first pitches. George, on another side, Susan and I were talking about this. Allegedly, Troy Tulowitzki is going to ask for a trade. What do your spies tell you about Tulowitzki's health and how he's playing?
Spring training, he was healthy. So far, he seems to be healthy. I don't think that's as big a problem for somebody that wants out. The problem is, what do you get back, and who's going to pay the salary?
Right. Well, the salary is very big. I agree. Here's Forsythe, and there's a strike. There's a breaking ball strike.
His current health might not be a question mark, but his health history would be a very big question mark to anybody acquiring that contract.
And it'll be an 0-1. And the pitch, a high Baltimore chop. Headley hustles, Fields can't control it. It'll be another base hit. How do you like that? The 2 base hits have both been Baltimore chops off the plate. So, hey, luck is a big part of this game. So Forsythe is on with a 1-out single.
Now, George, let's take that a little further with Tulowitzki. Who would take that? He's 30. He's got 5 more years at $110 million or something, and he's got a terrible history of injuries. Who would take that? Somebody that needs a shortstop to get over the hump, to get to another level? Who do you think would do that?
Well, the Dodgers will do it. They do everything else, right? You know what? In today's day and age, older players, and, we've seen it around here for years. The older player with the big contract, health issues.
Here is DeJesus. There's a breaking ball strike. So 2 base runners for Tampa, and both on balls that didn't go past the mound, right down the third baseline. That'll be an 0-1 to DeJesus.
Tough spot there is that the Dodgers and the Yankees don't need shortstops today. I mean, the Red Sox and the Yankees don't need.
The 0-1 is fouled off, and the count 0-2.
Yes, would Tulowitzki improve the Yankees at shortstop? Yes, if he's healthy. But they don't need one today.
Well, as the saying goes, it's not my money. DeJesus, a left-hand hitter, 1 on and 1 out. George, Jack Maldonado broke out some really great stats. I'm not going to give you a bunch of numbers, but the 0-2 is high. But the Yankees, as they entered this game with the chance to actually go 10 games over 500, are right at the top of the major leagues in runs scored and home runs and in doubles. What a change from a year ago.
Agree, and what a change from the first 10 days of the season.
Yes.
We're talking about, well, they're not hitting again, they're not doing this again. And I think this all falls on Teixeira's shoulders.
The 1-2 is fouled back.
I mean,
the count holds 1 and 2.
Middle of the lineup presence. He's hitting home runs. He's driving in runs. I know the average isn't what we've come to expect when he was healthy 2 years ago, but what an upgrade over what we saw last year.
Tremendous. And you've seen it with your own eyes. It could be that Beltran is really finally starting to hit.
This is as good as he's hit over a stretch since he's been here. And don't forget the 2 guys on top of him on base all time.
Oh, they're phenomenal, gee. Now here's the 1-2. And the pitch is grounded foul at home plate.
Having said all that, they probably should have scored more than 2 runs in the first inning.
Yeah, they let him off the hook. They really did.
Well, that's what they always say, that Archer's been having terrible problems the last 2 times out, particularly with the slider. Whatever was going on, George, in that first inning, he's fixed that slider.
Yeah, he's throwing for strikes. He was behind everybody, and 5 straight batters reached base, and he only scored 2 runs. And part of that was that Alex was on third base with 1 out and a fly ball to center field and didn't want to test it.
Now here comes the 1-2 to DeJesus. And the pitch is inside. Did he go? No. The third base umpire, that's the crew chief, Eric Cooper, said no swing. So the count 2-2. One on, Forsythe at first, one out. Bottom of the fifth, the Yankees have a 2-0 lead. And we're visiting with George King of the New York Post. And now Eovaldi deals, swung on and foul, third base side out of play.
Hey, George, you were out there when Tanaka was throwing, and he was talking to us afterwards, and he said he threw all his pitches, and he was very happy. When he says he throws all his pitches, he's not throwing the fastball 95.
Oh, no.
I mean, so he's just throwing they could be any speed. I mean, we can't tell from there. But I thought Larry Rothschild seemed very pleased, and that's the one that I listened to.
He was pleased. He said it was progression. He said he threw all his pitches. Slider, curveball, split, fastball.
There's the 2-2. Line, base hit, center field, just over the leap of Gregorius. Stopping at second is Forsythe. So there's the first legit hit. A hard line drive. And there's 2 on and 1 out.
You know, you can't tell a whole lot naked eye about what a bullpen session means for a player who's, let's face it, this health issue and history is starting to pile up on this guy at a very young age.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to be long. If he's healthy and continues to progress, I don't think you're looking at 3-4 minor league rehab starts. If he's able to pitch in the minor leagues, he's probably able to pitch in the big leagues.
I do agree with that. They may want to strengthen his arm. Now, first and second, 1 out. Here is Cabrera. Switch it to batting left, and the breaking ball is low, 1-0.
You know, my favorite line from Terry Francona when David Wells was rehabbing and Theo wanted to send him through Pawtucket, and he said, he does me no good getting out at scouts at Pawtucket. So Tanaka does you no good getting outs at Scranton. He can have, you know, if he says he's not going to need a lot of rehabs.
If you're going to accelerate him, I think, you know, that's the plan maybe. They'll probably decelerate Nova, though. I mean, that was the surgery, and you really got to be careful.
Runners lead. Forsythe off second, to Jesus off first. Here is the 1-0, and backdoor breaking ball missed, and the count 2-0.
And that brings you to Capuano, who's pitching tonight in Norfolk. And he's going to come, and he's going to be in the rotation. There's no way he gets put in the bullpen. So today was kind of a big day for this pitching staff because all 3 guys on the DL threw.
Now the 2-0. Hit on the ground to second. Drew goes to short, 1. No throw to first. So a 4-6 force. And Tampa has first and third, 2 out for right-hand hitter Brandon Geyer.
And this is as much as Eovaldi struggled all evening. Nice play by Drew there, and then the slide takes out Didi. He has no shot.
How about the Mets for Tulowitzki?
Well, he certainly could play short for him and be great in their lineup. I don't know if they want to spend the $110 million.
Or give up what Colorado will originally ask for the guy. I mean, he does the team no good when he says he wants out. Those are the kind of trades that should be made before anybody knows what his feelings are.
First and third, 2 men out. This is Eovaldi's first danger spot of the game. He has a 2-0 lead. Geyer popped to short his first time. And the pitch is low, blocked by McCann. And the count 1-0.
Well, I'm with you with that. If he announces and, you know, it got out that he's meeting with his agent to talk about that puts his value down because everybody knows he wants to be traded. You know, and if you go to the Mets, they're going to start with the kid pitcher tonight, or Syndergaard, or Matz, or somebody like that.
I don't do that.
I don't know.
Nope. Not in today's day and age. No chance. Too much history.
He hasn't made it through a season in years.
His health history is scary.
It'll be a 1-0 to Geyer. Runners lead first and third with 2 out. We're in the bottom of the fifth, 2-0 Yanks. And Eovaldi will deal 1-0. And there's a strike. And then the count 1-1.
On the flip side, he's a terrific player. I'm sure he could help somebody. Just at what price?
I don't know what the price is. I know how much it'll cost. One thing, it costs so much money to pay him. Here's the 1-1. Cut on him. We don't know if Colorado is thinking, hey, let's get rid of this contract. That's $110 million. That's not exactly a bologna sandwich.
No. And, just because the player wants out doesn't mean management has to trade him.
Right.
And, it's what? Middle of May, and you still have till July 31st to do something. It's going to be complicated.
It'll be a 1-2 to Geyer. It sounds like one of those television talk shows. Everyone has a different opinion. Here's the 1-2. Struck him out swinging. Fastball up. And boy, did he throw it. Thank you, George. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left. Now, at the end of 5 innings of play, 2-0 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. 10-second station ID on the New York Yankees WFAN radio network.
Steve Summers follows the Yankees on WFAN New York.
Now, John Sterling, Susan Wallman at Tropicana. As we go to the 6th inning, Yankees have a 2-0 lead. They scored both their runs in the first. And here's Brian McCann. McCann, Beltran, and Headley against the righty Archer. 3 infielders on the right side. And the pitch, strike.
Scoreboard update brought to you by Bigelow Family Tea Blender since 1945. St. Louis leading Cleveland 4-0, bottom of the 7th.
The 0-1 cut on him, missed 0-2.
Toronto and Baltimore now all tied up as Edwin Encarnacion has just tied this game up with his 6th homer in the top of the 6th inning. So 2-2 bottom of the 6th now, all tied at 2. Mark Burley and Chris Tillman.
And the 0-2 outside 1-2.
Detroit on a J.D. Martinez home run. He'd been in an awful slump. Detroit leading Minnesota 1-0, bottom of the 5th.
1-2 foul by
Kyle Gibson against Alfredo Simon. All tied up 1 apiece. Kansas City is at Texas, bottom of the 2nd. Shin-Soo Choo homered for Texas, his 4th. Eric Hosmer, his 6th for Kansas City. Edinson Volquez against Nick Martinez.
Here comes the 1-2 to McCann. Struck him out, swinging 1 away.
And out of the coast, Boston is at Oakland. Oakland's lost 6 in a row. Colorado's at the Angels. Colorado's lost 9 in a row. And San Diego's at Seattle. Seattle's won 3 in a row. In that game, it'll be in Kennedy against James Paxton.
Well, one down here is Beltran, who has single. He and McCann had the ribby singles in the first inning. And since then, Archer has been great. And deals. There's a strike.
Josh Harrison had his 3rd homer of the season. Pittsburgh leading Philly 3-0, bottom of the 5th. A.J. Burnett going up against Sean O'Sullivan.
And here is the 0-1. Caught on him, missed threw it by him upstairs. At 96, 0-2.
Atlanta is leading Cincinnati 3-2 now, top of the 5th. Todd Frazier had his 11th homer for Cincy. Mets and the Cubs scoreless, bottom of the 2nd.
Beltran takes high, 1-2.
In Chicago, Noah Syndergaard, who evidently got through the first inning on 7 pitches against Jake Arrieta, topping out at 99. Think he might be a little pumped up. Milwaukee, who's won 3 in a row, leading the White Sox 1-0. They're in Milwaukee. Chris Sale against Mike Fiers.
1-2. Swung on a high fly to right. Souza in a step to make the catch. And there are 2 away.
San Francisco will be at Houston a little while. Chris Heston against Colin McHugh. Oh, actually, they're now in the top of the 2nd. Still no score. Washington's at Arizona. Washington's now playing better. They've won 5 in a row. Steven Strasburg against Ruby De La Rosa. And Miami is out at the Dodgers. The L.A. Dodgers have now won 4 in a row. They're 21-10. Dan Harron against Mike Bolsinger.
Here, 2 away. And Chase Headley, the batter, is struck out twice. And takes a strike. Archer had given up 2 runs and had the bases loaded and no one out in the first inning, and then he slammed the door on the Yankees, and that door has remained shut. Headley takes outside. The Yankees had 4 hits in the first inning, And then Archer, since then, no runs on 3 hits. There'll be a 1-1 to Chase. And a high chopper over the mound, grabbed by Cabrera, who throws to first. To end the inning, that's a 6-3. And the Yankees go down again. 3 up and 3 down now at the end of 5 1/2. 2-0 Yanks. On the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Your local tri-state Audi dealers invite you to experience the uncompromised performance of the Audi A3 today, or visit anytime at tristateaudidealers.com. To the bottom of the 6th, here's the catcher, the 9th hitter, Rene Rivera, to lead it off, and Rivera takes a pitch low.
Speed Report is brought to you by Old Dominion Household Services, self-moving services that deliver. Get a quote at odmove.com for your next move.
There's the 1-0, foul back.
I think this is the first time I've ever read a negative Speed Report.
You have me on the edge of my old chair.
Yankees 0 for 2 in stolen base attempts tonight. When was the last time I said that? Never.
No. And he nailed the 2 speediest Yankees. This is Rivera is the guy who did it. He nailed Ellsbury and Gardner. It'll be a 1-1 to the catcher, and the pitch is grounded to short. Didi fields and throws across. 1 away. Evaldi now has thrown 63 pitches, so basically he's operating at about 12 pitches an inning. I saw a great stat on our monitor. Yogi Berra is tied with Mike Piazza for 20 home runs or more for the most consecutive years. Both of them had 10. Now 1 away, here's Kiermaier, and there's a strike. And Brian McCann has 7 years of 20 or more. And there's a 4th. Oh, Johnny Bench had 7 years. Those are the top 4. And the 0-1 is grounded to first. Jones field, steps on the bag 2-way. I just want to duck this in. People sometimes don't know the past. The Yankees played a Game 7 against the Dodgers at Evans Field in 1956. And here's what Yogi Berra did. Imagine if this happened today, how he would be lionized. But, it was so different then. In the first inning, there was a man on, 2 out. Yogi hit a 2-run home run over the right field screen. In the second inning, Ellie Howard hit a homer over that screen, batting right-handed. Pitch is high to Souza. And in the third inning, against Don Newcomb, man on, and Yogi hit another 2-run home run over the right field screen, and the Yankees won the game 9-0. Imagine if that happened today. 7th game, 2 2-run home runs. It'll be a 1-0 to the right-hand hitting Souza, and there's a strike.
Fans, be at the stadium on Sunday, May 24th, when the Yanks celebrate the career 4-time world champ Ernie Williams. Special ceremony, they're going to retire his number 51 and dedicate a plaque in Monument Park. For tickets, visit Yankees.com.
There's the 1-1. And the fastball's high, 2-1.
Sometimes I wish there were like a time machine and not just these old kinescope pictures or whatever, so that people could actually see how great these guys actually were.
Absolutely. I mean, that's really something. Here's the 2-1 strike. I'll tell you one more thing about it. I got to do this quick. The 7th game was up for grabs. Who's going to start? And Yogi went to Casey and said, pitch Johnny Cook's sinker ball pitcher in that little bandbox. He'll get him to hit ground balls. They did, and Cooks pitched a 3-hit shutout. Here is the 2-2. Breaking ball, strike 3. Well, this is the best game Evaldi's ever pitched, don't you think? I wonder what he would say. We're going to find out. So that's strikeout number 5 for Nathan. 3 up and 3 down. He is pitching a 6-inning shutout, giving up 3 hits, and 2 of those have been 2 little dribblers. Down third, 1 legit hit. So the Yanks have a 2-0 lead. 3 up and 3 down at the end of 6. 2-0 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
WFAN New York.
Now to the 7th inning, and Stephen Drew takes a pitch high. Archer has certainly recovered from his start. He trails 2-0 here in the 7th, probably his last inning, because with a few more pitches he'll hit 100. Here is the 1-0, and Drew fouls it down the right field line, 1-1.
Well, since the way he started in that first inning, I'll bet if he can get through the 7th inning, they'll think it's a big success.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he had 2 abysmal starts.
If you give up 2 runs in 7 innings, I'm sorry, that's all you can ask. You're not hitting. Here's the 1-1 foul back. And the count 1-2. Drew is 0 for 2. The bottom third, Drew, Jones, and Didi here in the top of the 7th. Evaldi pitching a 3-hit shutout. And Archer, since the first inning, is pitching a 3-hit shutout. The pitch, Drew, it's a high pop. Foul off third. Who's going to catch it? Archer is there. The ball bounces near the Yankee dugout and kicks into the seats. Evaldi has struck out 5 in his first 6 innings. And Painting the Corner brought to you by Serta Pro Painters, because painting is personal. Another way to look at this game, the 7th inning, the bottom of the 7th, oh, what a big inning, because obviously if Evaldi is able to get through it without a run, then you get to Betances and Miller time.
Well,
although Evaldi has a lot of pitches coming to him.
That's what I was thinking. If you can get by, and if he wants to pitch a complete game, it's okay with me.
Pitches outside. Oh yeah, they'd love him to, and give a rest to the end of the bullpen. But anyway, if you get through the 7th, then that's where you are, and you got a great chance. Now here's the 2-2 to Stephen. And he struck him out swinging. 1 away. That's strikeout number 7 for Archer. There's only been 1 walk in the game, and that was the walk to A-Rod that loaded the bases in the first inning.
Xavier Cedeno now warming up for the Rays.
I knew that was him. See, there's only 1 lefty on the entire staff. It had to be him.
And every time we've played them, there's a different lefty in that pen. There's only 1.
Here's Garrett Jones, and he hits a high fly to deep left center. Geyer cutting over in deep left center, makes the catch halfway back on the track. And there are 2 away. Archer has hit 100 pitches. The 7th inning is sponsored by Tri-State Ford. Ford vehicles have it all. Great design, intelligent features, all at a price that won't break the bank. See why they're the total package at your local Ford dealer, or visit us at tristateford.com. 2 away. Didi takes a strike.
Number 35, Matt Andrees joins Cedeno at the Rays bullpen.
Matt Andrees joins Cedeno, who's coming apart in the Tampa bullpen. Here's the 0-1. Cut out of miss. I tell you what, there's nothing wrong with Archer's arm at 100 pitches. That was 96.
Well, here's another thing. Matt Andrees was one of the people that they were thinking about pitching on Thursday. So if he's warming up here.
The 0-2. Way high, 1-2.
I would guess that would let him out if he comes in, unless they can use it like a bullpen day, because it is Tuesday, right?
Right. Maybe that means they've decided on Bellotti. And here is the 1-2. Foul down the left field line, out of play.
I asked one of the Rays, is there somebody that they could bring up to pitch, a starter down at Durham? I said, no, actually, they're all here.
Here's the 1-2. He struck him out swinging. So the Yankees are down 1-2-3. 8 strikeouts now for Archer. 3 up, 3 down at the end of 6.5. It's 2-0 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Here's Evan Longoria to lead off the bottom of the 7th. And the pitch is hit in the air to shallow left. On the run is Gardner. Has to play it on a hop. So there's the 4th hit and 4th base runner for Tampa. Now, of course, they send up the tying run. Very soft fly ball single by Longoria.
7th inning stretch is brought to you by your Tri-State BMW Centers. BMW will only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. Look at that pitch. It was a fastball. It was up. It was about waist high. Sort of stayed right in the middle. Mistake pitch by Eovaldi.
So Longoria's on. Of the 4 hits, only 1 has been hard, legit. 2 dribblers and that little fly ball. Well, here's Loney. Eovaldi has not walked a batter. And there's a strike. That was his 72nd pitch. Think what good shape he's in. That's 12 pitches an inning. But this is, I mentioned it last inning. This is the big inning for the Yanks and Eovaldi. They get through this, and they get in any trouble, they can go to Betances and Miller. It'll be an 0-1, left-hand hitting Loney, and takes a strike on the outside corner. And boy, Eovaldi is not a thrower in this game. He's a pitcher in this game.
No, 85-mile-an-hour changeup coming after that 96-mile-an-hour fastball. It's just a tremendous pitch.
It'll be an 0-2 to Loney. And the pitch, half swing. Did he go? No. It'll be a 1-2 to the left-hand hitting Loney. James is flied out and grounded out. Longoria leads off first. Loney the tying run, 2-0 Yanks, bottom of the 7th. The pitch, foul back. I kind of snickered after the noise because I heard a lone voice in my headset. Here's the 1-2. Hit on the ground to first, off Jones' glove. He recovers, feeds to first in time to Eovaldi. And on to second goes Longoria.
Now, that shows you also what a great athlete Eovaldi is, getting off that quickly. And even though that Garrett Jones bobbled that ball, did you see how quickly John Eovaldi got to first base?
And he was there, and it actually became a very easy play.
It was. I thought there was no way they were going to get him, but all of a sudden Garrett Jones gets up, and there's Eovaldi standing there.
So 1 away with a runner at second. And here is Forsythe, who's 1 for 2, but his hit was one of the 2 dribblers down third. Anyway, I heard this lone voice saying, "Let's go Rays." Let's go Rays.
Well, that's the quietest thing you've heard all night.
Yeah. Forsythe is a right-hand hitter. Longoria leads off second with 1 out. And the pitch is low.
You know, they said the 10,000 people last night was the smallest crowd they have ever had when the Yankees were in town.
There's the 1-0. Breaking ball low, 2-0.
It really does not bode well for this franchise down here, does it? They get 10,000 people when the Yankees are in town.
I hate to say this, but someone with the Rays said to me, probably it's about 5,000.
Well, yeah, the pay, those are the tickets sold. There were only 5,000 here, but 10,000 tickets sold for, wow.
Here's the 2-0 to Forsythe. And the pitch, a breaking ball low, 3-0.
They have more people at Legends Field, at Steinbrenner Field, than they do here.
Right. It doesn't bode well. And it doesn't also bode well that the franchise, Tampa's come out to knock their own building, which happened in San Francisco. The Giants one year had a campaign. First of all, it'll be a 3-0 to Forsythe. Longoria off second with 1 out, and the pitch is outside ball 4. There's the first walk given up by Eovaldi. And now the tying runs are on, and the go-ahead run comes through the plate. And we take 10 seconds for station ID on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network. John Sterling, Susan Waldman back at Tropicana. 2-0 Yankees, but Tampa has their best chance. Not only do they have 2 on and 1 out, but they have 2 of their left-hand hitters coming up. First DeJesus, and then Asdrubal Cabrera. So first and second, 1 out, and Eovaldi deals a breaking ball that missed low, 1-0. Yankees have a 2-0 lead. Ellsbury Gardner singled, A-Rod walked with the bases loaded. McCann singled in a run, and Beltran singled in a run. And those are the only power strokes of the game. It'll be a 1-0 to the left-hand hitting DeJesus, and the pitch is popped foul, third base side out of play. And that is the Power Report. And the Power Report brought to you by Indian Point Energy Center, the region's most reliable source of electric power.
And now we're in the third time around the lineup, and Brian McCann trying to mix things up. Third time is when pitchers will get in trouble, because they've clocked the fastball, and you start to recognize when he's going to throw that slider. And the change, he actually threw a curveball that last one that DeJesus fouled off.
Number 40, Kevin Jepson joins Cedeno in the Rays bullpen.
Kevin Jepson is now warming also.
Now here's the 1-1. A wild pitch goes back to the screen, and the tying runs go to second and third. Eovaldi fired one low and in, and it went right past McCann. So a base hit will tie the game.
Wild pitch.
Well, let's see this again. McCann sets up outside, and he got crossed up. He went across his body, and the ball went off of McCann's glove. It went diagonally across the plate to the other side of the plate.
So the tying runs lead off second and third with 1 out here in the 7th. And the 2-1 is lined up the middle. There's a base hit center field. 2 runs will score, and the ball game is tied at 2.
Well, it's slider with no depth on it, and he just hit it straight up the middle. A little late, but now Larry Rothschild going to the phone, or Joe Girardi going to the phone to get somebody up. This is the tricky part of the ball game. You try and get through that 7th inning. Larry Rothschild going out to talk to Eovaldi.
No, eventually it's going to happen. Longoria had a very soft single, a little fly ball single, and then after an out, Eovaldi allowed his only walk. I mean, you can't knock him for walking one person in 7 innings. I mean, he's pitched great, but it set the scene. Then the wild pitch moved into second and third, and on the next pitch, DeJesus smacked it up the middle, and the ball game is tied at 2. However, but if the Yankees lose the game, where they lost it was the first inning, when they had 2 runs in and the bases loaded and no one out. They never scored again.
Number 41, Justin Wilson.
So lefty Justin Wilson is up for the Yanks. Right-hander Kevin Jepson is up for Tampa. And here is Cabrera with a go-ahead run at first and 1 out. And the pitch is a strike, and the count 0-1.
Well, one of the things that I think you have to have as a positive is that Chris Archer is out of the game. Or Jepson wouldn't be throwing, right?
Right. Yeah, he's over 100 pitches. I gather he would be out of the game. Archer has thrown 105, I think. So it'll be an 0-1 to Cabrera. 3 infielders on the right side, and a throw to first, and back is DeJesus. For DeJesus, his 12th and 13th RBIs. So the game tied at 2. Here's the 0-1. Lined off the glove of Jones, who recovers and dives to the bag in time for the out. A line drive, and Jones dropped it. That allowed now the runner to go to second. That's a big play. But then he recovered just in foul territory, picked it up and dove at the bag and got there ahead of Cabrera. But if he catches it, it's a double play and the end of the inning, because the runner had started, of course, to Jesus, and he was off the bag.
He's having a tough night at first base. That, I think, comes from not playing. Yeah, he's having a tough night.
So goes as just a 3 unassisted. But that was a double play to end the inning. And as a result, DeJesus is at second. Here's Brandon Guyer. And Tampa, who came in the inning down 2, is now a base hit away from taking the lead. And there's a breaking ball strike. Here's the 0-1. Cut on him, missed. As Evaldi blew it by him.
Well, Guyer is 0 for 2 so far tonight, but he's hit very, very well. Hit .353 with 8 RBIs, 2 homers in his last 11 games, 9 starts. When a lefty is starting, Guyer will be up at the top of the lineup. With the righty starting, Kiermaier, the lefty, is up at the top.
Now here's the 0-2. And it's pop foul back. Kevin Jepson in the bullpen is a very hard-throwing right-hander, and he'll be in next to face the Yankees. Ball game is tied at 2. However, the go-ahead runs at second base. DeJesus, and the count 0-2 on Guyer. And Evaldi now deals, and the pitch is low. And the count 1-2. Of course, also, Evaldi got hurt by issuing his only walk of the game. And he also got hurt by the wild pitch, because that moved the runners up. And they scored on the 2-run base hit by DeJesus. However, you could look at it this way. He's pitched great. And, if you're going to depend on your pitcher pitching a shutout all the time, you're in a lot of trouble. So it'll be a 1-2 to Guyer. DeJesus, the lead run, leads off second with 2 out. And Evaldi deals. It's grounded to third. Headley throws across in time. However, Tampa comes back to tie the game. They get 2 runs on 2 hits and leave 1. And now at the end of 7 innings of play, we're all tied at 2 on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Well, the new pitcher is the hard-throwing righty that they got from the Angels, Kevin Jepson. Kevin Jepson's actually done a pretty good job for them. I was looking at his, he's 0-2, but has an ERA of about 2.5. He's been in 14 games, 12 2/3 innings, 9 hits, that's okay, 4 runs. He has given up a home run, 7 walks, and 10 strikeouts. Batters hitting 196 off of Kevin Jepson.
Now we go to the top of the 8th inning. Now here, I'll give you the line on Archer in a moment. Don't forget, the first 4 batters, single, walk, first 5 batters. Well, I'll get to that in a moment. Here's Ellsbury. He takes high. Single, walk, single, only 2 runs scored. And from that point on, he was utterly brilliant. And he pitched as well against the Yankees as he normally does. There's the 1-0 to Ellsbury. He hits a ground ball to first fair. Loney takes it himself. Yankees thought it was foul. And here comes Joe Girardi to argue it. Dellin Betances up in the Yankee bullpen. Ellsbury didn't run. He thought the ball was foul. The first base umpire is Dan Iasona. And Joe Girardi is arguing with Adam Hamari. It's the home plate umpire who makes that call. So let's see. Now, Hamari and Iasona talk to each other right outside the plate on the first base side.
Joe very animated about what he's saying. It's no... Now,
it really is the eye of the beholder. That Ball hugged the line. Now let's look at it again, Susan.
Maloney's standing right in front of where the ball is. Oh, no, wait a minute. That's a foul ball. That did not, from the angle we just saw, it did not pass the bag on the fair side. It's got to either hit the bag and they're not going to.
Well, Joe's leaving, and so is Ellsbury.
Well, they don't have to grant you the replay. It's after the seventh inning. They don't have to do it if they don't want to. And they didn't.
Now here's the line on Archer. 7 innings, 2 runs, 7 hits, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. And there's 1 away, and here's Gardner.
Scoreboard update is brought to you by Astoria Bank. Didn't you think on the replay that it looked foul?
Yes. Gardner's 2 for 3. Ellsbury was 2 for 3 before the ground ball. There's a strike.
I'll give you a couple of American League scores that we are watching. Toronto now leading Baltimore 6-2, top of the 8th. Ed Encarnacion has had 2 homers. He's had his number 6 and number 7.
Now, here is the 0-1. And it's low outside, 1-1 from Jepson.
Detroit is leading Minnesota 1-0, bottom of the 7th inning. Texas leading Kansas City 2-1, top of the 4th, and a little later Boston will be at Oakland. In the National League, no score, bottom of the 4th in Chicago, Mets and Cubbies. Noah Syndergaard making his debut, and Jake Arrieta going for the Cubs.
The pitch is low to Gardner, who's ahead on the count 2-1. We play on the top of the 8th, 1 out, no one on, and the Yankees and Tampa are tied at 2.
Tonight's paid attendance, 10,417. 10417.
The 2-1 up high, 3-1.
Now, last time Jepson was in, he issued 3 walks against the Rangers, setting up one of their wins.
Now, here's the 3-1 to Gardner. Low ball 4. So Gardner's on with a 1-out walk. Your local Tri-State Audi dealers invite you to experience the uncompromised performance of the Audi A3 today. Or visit anytime at TriStateAudiDealers.com. Alex Rodriguez has walked, popped up, and grounded out.
Alex does not have good numbers off of Kevin Jepson. He's 1 for 10.
Tie-breaking run off first in Gardner with 1 out here in the 8th. And the right-hander deals. There's a strike.
94-mile-an-hour fastball right in the outside corner. Had a good hop on it.
The attendance was announced 10,004 something.
17.
417. He drew 10,006 something, so a couple of hundred people less. And there's the 0-1 from Jepson. Pitch is high. Now the count 1-1. It'll be a 1-1 to Alex, and a quick throw to first. Gardner is back. The outfield dead straight away. The only guy out of position is the second baseman Forsythe, who plays about 3 steps on the first base side of second. I guess the way you would for any right-hand power hitter. And another throw to first, and Gardner's back.
And that, again, is given from the bench. You see Rene Rivera here looking into the dugout to see what he should do. So those are all called from the bench. Pitch out, throw over.
Once again, the right-hander is set. It'll be a 1-1 to A-Rod. And there's a strike. Fastball up, and the count 1-2.
96-mile-an-hour fastball, as John said, up on the corner. He was looking for a slider.
Gardner with the lead off first. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and fouled first base out of play. So the count holds 1-2. That fastball 96. He throws very hard. Brian McCann is the on deck hitter. Rivera looking into his dugout. Looking into his dugout for signs. It'll be a 1-2. The pitch is fouled up in the air and first base side back. So the count holds at 1-2.
He keeps pouring in those 96-mile-an-hour fastballs up. Alex just following them back.
I guess that's all for Eovaldi, because Betances continues to warm. Yankees just couldn't get through the seventh. Of course, we told you beforehand that was going to be the big inning. Just couldn't do it. A soft single and a walk and a wild pitch, and the Jesus single, though, was a hard single for the tying two-run hit. Here is the 1-2 to A-Rod. Strike three is called 2-away.
Take a look at this again because Alex didn't like the call. He thinks it's outside. Rivera holds it there beautifully. He really frames too.
Now 2-way. Here's Brian McCann, who singled in a run and then flied out and struck out. Three infielders on the right side for McCann. And the right-hander Jepson holds the set at the belt and deals. And there's a strike.
Now he started him off with a curveball to the fastball, and I think McCann was looking for that fastball because that's all Alex saw.
It'll be an 0-1 to McCann. And a throw over. The outfield very deep. Well, Geyer plays most people deep. He's in left field. Kiermaier and Souza very deep in center and right. They're trying to cut down the double, which would allow Gardner to score. So it'll be an 0-1 to McCann. And the pitch hit on the ground at first. Loney steps on the bag to end the inning. For the Yankees, no runs, no hits, one left. And now, at the end of 7.5 innings of play, we're tied at 2 on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Well, as John said, that is all for Eovaldi as Dellin Betances takes over. No, I'm sorry, he did not. That's still Eovaldi out there.
Yeah, I saw Eovaldi come out. I guess they figured he has enough pitches left. Mark Teixeira goes to first base for the Yankees. And here is Rene Rivera to lead it off.
Number 25, Mark Teixeira enters the game at first base.
I would gather if the Yankees had the lead, that Betances would come on. So it's Eovaldi. He's deserved it.
He's only at 92 pitches.
Rivera 0 for 2, a couple of ground balls. And Eovaldi deals outside. Count 1-1. The left-handed Justin Wilson's in the bullpen. We're all tied at 2. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees scored their 2 in the first. Breaking ball strike. And Tampa their 2 in the 7th.
Brad Boxberger is now warming up for Kevin Cash's Rays.
There's the 1-2. Struck him out swinging on a breaking ball. You know, I think this is a very big game for Eovaldi, because he certainly has been a pitcher tonight and not a thrower. He's pitched a great game. When he gave up the 2 runs, he gave up a soft single and a walk. Well, the walk's a killer. His only walk of the game. A wild pitch advanced the runners, and then DeJesus had a hard single to center. Well, here's Kiermaier, a left-hand hitter, and he takes outside 1-0. And that's really all that Eovaldi's done wrong. 2 runs, 5 hits. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball low. Eovaldi has struck out 6, walked 1. And he has pitched a very strong game. Here is the 2-0. Pitch low, 3-0. Putting Teixeira in will make Tex the 4th hitter due in the 9th.
And now Justin Wilson has sat down, and Betances has gotten up again.
Pitch is low. Second walk given up by Eovaldi. So Kiermaier's at first with 1 out.
Right fielder, number 20, Steven Souza, Jr.
Now here is Souza, who had an infield single, dribbler toward third, and then struck out twice. He's a right-hand hitter. Longoria is the on-deck hitter. We're tied at 2, bottom of the 8th. And Eovaldi deals. There's a strike.
The 8th inning is brought to you by Kubota Tractors. You can find them at Arrowway Chevrolet, Inc. and Able Equipment Rental in New York.
So Betances is up. And I would gather if one more man gets on base, you would see Betances. There'll be an 0-1 to Souza. A throw to first base. Kiermaier is back. Ball game tied at 2. Now the Yankees know probably then that they really let Archer off the hook. They had scored 2 runs, had the bases loaded and no one out, and didn't score again in the inning. That was a killer. Now we're tied at 2 in the 8th. It'll be an 0-1 to Souza. Looper towards second and through to right field's a base hit. On his way to third is Kiermaier. So first and third, 1 out. It was a looper, and Drew did the best thing he could. He ran to the glove side, left his feet, and it went off his glove. That slowed it down more. So first and third and 1 man out. And the best hitter for the Rays is up, Evan Longoria. And almost anything will give Tampa Bay the lead.
And here comes Joe Girardi. And that is all for Eovaldi. And in comes Dellin Betances to face Evan Longoria.
First and third, 1 out. A fly ball would give Tampa the lead. And the pitch. And there's a fly ball to deep right center. Ellsbury goes back to make the catch. Here comes Kiermaier. He scores. It's a sac fly and an RBI for Longoria. And Tampa takes a 3-2 lead. Now, to be fair to to Eovaldi, he's given up 6 hits, and 3 have been as soft as they could be. I think they all count, I guess. So Tampa Bay scratches a run, and they have a 3-2 lead. And here is James Loney with a runner at first and 1 out. 2 out, excuse me. For Longoria, his 13th RBI. And Loney takes low. One thing, though, in both innings that Tampa scored, those are the 2 walks, both scored. Pitch. Hey, that's part of the game, too. He only walked 2 men, and they both came home to score. So Tampa has a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the 8th. With 1 on and 2 out. The pitch to Loney is taken. Stolen base. Souza went and got a great job on Betances. So Souza at second with 2 out.
You know, John, also you can't forget what happened in the second inning when with 1 out, Ellsbury singles and he gets thrown out trying to steal. And then Gardner gets a single and he gets thrown out.
Well, the Yankees will walk Loney and go after the right-handed hitting Forsythe. We are coming to you live from the Sunoco broadcast booth. Sunoco, save 5 cents on every gallon instantly with your Sunoco Rewards credit card. 2 on, 2 out. It's 3-2 Tampa here in the bottom of the 8th, and that will bring up Logan Forsythe. That's an intentional walk. The closer, hard-throwing right-hander Brad Boxberger, is warming in the bullpen. Yankees down by a run, at least right now down by a run. Will send up Beltran, Headley, and Drew. Teixeira would be the 4th hitter. And another pitch goes by McCann, and the runners move to second and third.
And a wild pitch by Betances. We'll see this again. McCann sets up and he bounced it about a half a foot outside in the chalk.
Here's the 1-0, and there's a breaking ball strike from Betances. 1-1 to Forsythe. The Rays have second and third. Souza at third, Loney at second, and a base hit would just about end the ball game. So a very big batter. It'll be a 1-1 from Betances to Forsythe, and the pitch is a breaking ball low. McCann didn't see it, and scoring is Souza. The ball rolled away to the first base side of home plate, and Souza just kept on running. So one of those things, huh? Another wild pitch by Betances, and Tampa now has a 4-2 lead. I guess when you think about this game, it all goes back to the first inning when the Yanks had a 2-0 lead and bases loaded and no one out. Evaldi pitched great, but something had to happen, and it did. So Souza scores on the wild pitch. Forsythe misses a breaking ball. On to third goes Loney. This is some inning. Walk. A looping single off Drew's glove. A sac fly. And 2 wild pitches. So 2 are in. 4-2 Tampa. And the pitch is foul back. And the count remains at 2-2 on the right-hand hitting Forsythe. So it'll be a 2-2 to Forsythe. Loney off third, 2 out. Pitch is strike 3. However, Tampa takes the lead. They get 2 runs on 1 hit and 1 left. And now at the end of 8 innings of play, it's 4-2 Tampa on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network driven.
It's Yankees baseball on Sports Radio 66 and 101.9 FM, WFAN New York.
Here's the line on Evaldi, who really deserves a better fate. He pitched his heart out today. A combination of a couple of walks, a wild pitch, and a couple of soft hits. 7 1/3, 4 runs, 6 hits, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. 4-2 Tampa. The closer, right-hander Brad Boxberger, a hard-throwing righty, comes in to pitch the 9th. Here's Beltran, and he swings and misses. Boy, is he laid on that fastball. Beltran 1 for 3. Beltran, Headley, and Drew, and if anyone gets on, Teixeira here in the 9th. And there's a strike. The count 0-2. Longoria and Cabrera changed places with 2 strikes. Why, I don't know. So Cabrera's on the left side. Longoria 1 of 3 on the right side. That I don't get, but makes people happy. The 0-2 swung on and looped to right field, and Sousa makes the catch. 1 away. Now 1 away. Here's Chase Headley. Yankees down by 2. They need the old bloop and a blast. Here is Headley. And he takes a strike. And the pitch is cut on and missed. Hey, don't forget, following the game, the Agera Energy Yankees postgame show. Agera Energy, the next generation of energy efficiency, demand management, and retail energy supply. It'll be an 0-2 to Headley. And he foul tips at home plate. Now here's the 0-2. Outside 1 inch. Headley 0 for 3 on the night. All the Yankee offense was in the first inning. And that's when they scored their 2 runs. And the pitch to Headley is fouled off. Not only did they score 2 runs, they had the bases loaded and no one out. And Archer was able to get through that inning, strike out, shallow fly, ground ball, and the Yankees have never threatened again. And Eovaldi finally gave in the 7th and 8th innings. Didn't get hit hard, but here's the 1-2. Swung on and looped to center field. That's a base hit. Headley went down and got a pitch low and away and kind of hooked it to center field. So the Yankees have a crack at it. They obviously need the 2-run home run. And here is Stephen Drew with Teixeira on deck. Drew is 0 for 3. And the pitch is swung on and hit in the air to right field. Sousa coming in makes the catch 2-away. So the Yankees down to their final out, and here is Mark Teixeira. And at least with 2 outs and a runner on, you have a home run hitter up there. Teixeira with 11 homers and 27 RBIs. He's second in the American League to Nelson Cruz 14. You know, a very good question could be raised. Do you pitch around Teixeira? Didi Gregorius is on deck. Now, if you pitch around him and put him on, you put the winning run or the lead run on at first base. But Teixeira has a whole lot better chance to tie it up than Didi. Now the right-hander deals. There's a strike. (4-2) Tampa, 2 outs, top of the 9th, and the pitch is swung on and popped up to shallow left. Coming in is Geyer. He makes the catch to end the ball game. Ball game over. Tampa wins. So Tampa evens the series at a game apiece as they beat the Yankees 4-2 with a late rally. And we'll keep it here for Susan to get her star. Her star corralled. Susan's star of the game, sponsored by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. On the web at searchmercedes.com. Now let's go down on the field to Susan Waldman.
Okay, John, our star of the game, John, we'll throw back upstairs to you.
Okay, Susan. So Tampa gets 2 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th, and they beat the Yankees 4-2. But if the Yankees want to take something out of this game, it was the pitching of Eovaldi. He was not a thrower tonight. He was a pitcher, and he pitched a whale of a game, and he probably deserved a better fate. But, you know, that's baseball. Then you move on and play the next day, and then you move on and play the next day. So, I mean, it's not tragic. You play enough games, you're going to lose games in baseball. You should wish, all teams should wish they lose 60 games. You lose 60 games, you win 102. That's pretty good. So Tampa wins at 4-2. We'll get back with the totals in a moment here on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, the game attendance tonight was 10,417, and the game attendance brought to you by New York Community Bank and the NYCB family of banks. And Tampa wins it by the score of 4-2. And we'll get back with the totals in just a moment on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Now back at Tropicana, Tampa Bay has evened the series at a game apiece. They beat the Yankees 4-2. Yankees had 2 in the first, and then Tampa tied it with 2 in the 7th and won it with 2 in the 8th. Here are the totals. For the Yanks, 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors. They left 6. For Tampa, 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors. They left 4. Nathan Eovaldi, the hard luck loser, he pitched a terrific game. He's 3-1. Kevin Jepsen in relief won it. He's 1-2. Brad Boxberger had to save his 9th. With a loss, the Yankees dropped to 21-13, and their lead over Tampa in the AL East is down to 3. Tampa is 18-16. The time of the game, 2 hours and 33 minutes, and the attendance, 10,417. Once again, the final score is Tampa 4 and the Yankees 2. New York Yankees baseball is a production of Sports Radio 66 and 101.9 FM WFAN in conjunction with the New York Yankees. Studio operation.